Hey everyone, and welcome back to Future Push. My name is Henry, and today we are talking about Docker and containerization. So in this video, I'm just going to kind of explain the difference between what Docker does and what virtual machines do. And then we're also going to look at a little example on how to install something using Docker. So first, the big thing that containers are compared to a lot are virtual machines. So the way, and this is a diagram from Docker's website, so I found it very useful. But basically, the way virtual machines work is they'll be set up on infrastructure, and they'll have an operating system and run a certain application or service. Um, so, like for example, if you had like a website, you would have a server that would be running something like Nginx and a server that would be running PHP, and they would be on their own separate virtual machines, and then they'd be communicating with each other. Um, and this requires a lot of more infrastructure because you need, obviously, to run this small website, you would need two virtual machines, one for Nginx, one for PHP. But the reason Docker is cool and why containerization is where a lot of companies are trying to like switch over to is because, as you can see here, this is all running on one machine. So we have the infrastructure, the operating system, then Docker is controlling all these different apps here. So like, for example, a project that I worked on in my internship was moving one of the company's products over to containerization with Docker. So I would have had a container that was running PHP, a container that was running Nginx, one was running MySQL database, and the other one was running a Redis server. And I was able to do all of those things on the same machine instead of having to provision separate virtual machines and instances for each of the different services that I needed to run to make this website work. And so compared to using virtual machines, the cost benefits of using something like containerization are just super, super important. And that's why they can be considered like the future of where a lot of IT services are moving and how they operate their products and services. So really quickly, I also want to show you a little Docker example. So this is a website called Play with Docker. It will spin up a Docker instance for you, and then you can just play around with it. But what we're going to do is we're going to add a new instance, and we are now able to create containers within this instance. And I want to, in one of my containers, install HackCMS, GitHub that I'm using. So we're going to go here. We're going to copy this docker-compose YAML file. So we're going to go back over, where is our Play with Docker? Here it is. We're going to do, and we're just going to recreate this file. Next, save it, and then boom, we have our docker-compose YAML file here. And then to run this, we do docker-compose up, and then it'll go through all of these. I'll probably speed it up here. Okay, cool. So now our container is up and running, and if we want to open it and access it, we'll just go up here to click open port, and we'll say, well, we want to open 80, and we'll go to that page. Cool, these are our username and password. So now we can go over here, copy this. I'm okay showing this because I'm gonna just in a second disable all this, so this instance will no longer be running when you guys view this. Hopefully we'll be able to load into HackCMS and log in. All right, so unfortunately I wasn't able to get the site to head to the login page for some reason. When I did this in my demo yesterday, prepare for this lab, it worked fine. So I'm not exactly sure what the problem is, but you can see here that I am accessing the HackCMS container via my computer. So I'm going to just go ahead and shut this down. Cool. And now our container has stopped running. All right, cool. So that's just a little overview of what what Docker can do and why it's important for the future of technology. So I hope you did learn something today and that you enjoyed, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks.